Greetings, salutations, and all good things in between. What's up, everyone? Matt here. Happy holidays, happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you had a good week. Hope you got a lot of stuff done. What do we got going on this week? Well, I put out the app that I made last week for the QUICKCHART, where I showed how you could do like Sparklines and progress bars and things. I released that sample app. It's on my profile. I'll quickly go over that a little bit. Not much from AppSheet not much from comments this week. The tides have turned here. Like, there's not very many comments from everybody, but there's been a lot of good activity from AppSheet. So we'll go over that. If you have any comments, if you have any questions that you're working on, you want to get your answers, at the end of this, I have the live chat section. Make sure you get them in there. Before the live chat, though, we're going to go on another deep dive, and I'm going to continue this series of QUICKCHART integrations. And I'm going to show you how you can take the starting QUICKCHART app that I have, the one that's marked as number 1. That's the one that shows you how to establish the basis of how to build everything, and it makes a line chart. I'm going to show how to take that and make it an adaptive chart so that I can change its type on the fly. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, do all the happy stuff. Let's get to it. All right, as I said there at the very beginning, I released the a new sample app on my account. This is the app that I made on the last Friday live stream, where I took the app that I did on the live stream before that, made a copy of it, did some stuff to it, made some changes. I'm going to do the same thing this week. So if you want to go and check out the sample apps of all of these QUICKCHART things, I have them nicely labeled with numbers here for you. This QUICKCHART one here is the line chart, and it basically shows you everything you need to know in order to get started using QUICKCHART, because there's some data preparation things that you have to do. This one largely shows what you need to do. Number 2 shows you how you can do some quick and easy ones, and that's really the one that I wanted to go over right now. This is everything that I went over. So you've got Sparklines, progress bar, QR codes, and radial gauges. All of these things are easily made. They generally require like one piece of data. It's very straightforward. These are, and we're done type of things. So head on over to my profile. Link in the description, maybe? Let me look. Yep, link in the description. Head on over there, check it out. Upgrade your apps. Get your QUICKCHART game on, if you will, right? That's really all I've got as far as updates on my end of things and what I've got going on. Yeah, let's move on to the comments and questions. Oh, wait, there was none. Oh, it's going to be a fast episode if we're not going to have anything to cover like that, right? So, but there was a lot of really good releases from AppSheet for this week. So let's go over those. Oh, fun stuff. So, what has happened? Well, if I go back to a week ago, right, on December 2nd, and we look at the release notes, we just start from there. The first thing that they have on here is this AppSheet feature samples. This is actually pretty cool. I kind of like what they did here. It's very reminiscent of a lot of the sample apps that I have on my profile, where it's not really an app for like, oh, I'm going to go use this to do something. No, that's not what it's for. Most of my sample apps are functionality things, like how do I find the last whatever? How do I make a bulleted list out of an enum list? You know, they have put together a giant collection of apps that have been put together that show how to do a whole bunch of different stuff. So if you just head on over there, if you look for in the AppSheet support page, if you just say getting started using app feature samples, there's this nice list, right? Pretty good. And I assume this is just going to continue to grow. And as people ask for more things to be covered, they will add them into the mix. And yeah, pretty nice little thing. If we kind of dive into what some of these things are, you can see they have things like bulk actions, calculate distance, nested forms, multi-page forms, the lookup function, link to form. So showing you how to do some of the functionality bits inside AppSheet. It's nice. On the side of the desktop preview, they have added in, this is pretty neat, more detailed information about the syncs that you need to do. And they've added in this discard unsynced changes. Kind of nice. Yeah, you know, this new desktop UI, it's getting a lot of love. It's starting to look really nice. And as you can see down here, like in all the bug fixes, UI. So they're making massive progress when it comes to this new desktop UI, and they got to be nearing a point where it's like, all right, let's make this for real. It's getting close. On the 5th, they put out a new thing that allows you to export your audit history logs for your team to BigQuery. So if you have a team as part of your AppSheet account where you can manage other sub accounts, if you will, you have the ability now to export your history logs to BigQuery. Because then you can go over to BigQuery and you can do all kinds of good stuff over there. This is really cool. There's a lot of integrations coming down the line with more of the advanced Google features. Yeah, good time to be an AppSheet. If we keep moving on here, here we go to the 6th. So, additional usability improvements in the AppSheet app editor. The app editor includes navigation and app setting improvements currently in preview to facilitate the configuration of specific features. The navigation improvements now include a secondary navigation panel that lets you quickly scan all of your components. In addition, there are more direct links to the view components for the table, column, actions that you want to check or edit. Finally, error and warning messages are more prominently displayed. I actually kind of like this one. I've had the ability to kind of play around with that one. It really kind of does clean up some of the UI a little bit. In the middle here, we got this new team setting that allows you to restrict the recipient list for outgoing emails. Yeah, a lot of really good team management things where they're trying to conform the AppSheet platform to more along the lines of like Google standards. You know what I mean? Like there are certain things that you kind of expect with Google stuff. They're slowly getting all of these sort of things in there. A lot of team management and higher level things. Good stuff. AppSheet now flags cycle expressions as warning. For example, if you have 3 virtual columns defined as A, B, C, D, well, that's a nice little, as A is equal to B, B is equal to C, and C is equal to A. Nice little circle. In this scenario, there is no way to calculate the result because each value depends on another value. Other examples include using this, as in calling whatever the value is in a virtual column, or this row in a virtual column. That is also a key. Yeah, that wouldn't work. AppSheet now flags these types as cycle expressions and gives you warnings. Good. Because cycles have always been a bane. That's all we got there. Moving on to the 7th. Ooh, this is nice. So you can create an AppSheet database by importing a Google Sheet. Nice. I know a lot of the hard points that people have faced with the database thing is strictly the ability. It's like, well, I got to go through and like make all the columns one by one. And it's like click, 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 click. Well, that's one. Now I got 26 to go. No thanks. This would be really nice being able to just drop a thing in there. I assume now that we can like import, pretty soon it'll be an export if there's not already. I don't really play with it. Bug fixes. An issue was reported in the community where it was fixed where dialogues to add a new integration, a store, inbound channel, outbound channel, or app service, only had a text box for the name and no text box for the properties that needed to be filled in. That would be a problem. Fix an issue with the secondary navigation panels in the preview. That would sometimes throw an error. Nice. And fixed a bug where creating a custom slice in context should not navigate to the new slice. I wonder what that context is. Interesting. And the last one here, released today, wow, was, just a couple of bug fixes. Sync errors are fixed on older browsers. On some older browsers, AppSheet was using an unsupported library to retrieve, to do relative time localization. This has been fixed. Nice. Template previews are no longer accidentally rendered desktop modes. Some app template previews were showing desktop UI instead of the mobile UI. Yeah, all right. Cool, man. And then they just, they continuing to roll out. So the export the audit logs is now out for everybody. That's nice. And they're really going slow with this, restricting the recipient list of emails. Like 10%, 25, really creeping. That is all the updates and everything on the AppSheet side. What's come out, what's come down the line. A lot of good stuff coming, you know what I mean? Making a lot of that desktop UI. I don't know if you play with that at all, but woo, that's pretty slick. Yeah. And then they've got some, like when you turn that on, there's other settings like for the UX elements. Like for instance, when you edit a record, right? You have the option to either bring up the little side panel that comes up or go to the form. Like they're giving you options like this where you can choose, well, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle this? It's pretty nice. A lot of customization, right, is coming down the line. You've got the ability to use HTML and Markdown. Now think about combining that with the new desktop UI. It's gonna be pretty slick. Anyways, that's all I got for this one. The main meat and potatoes, right, for the rest of this is QUICKCHART. Let's do the deep dive. All right, so continuing on our journey where we're learning how to integrate QUICKCHART into an AppSheet app. We started with how to just get it started. We jumped off and we did some little quick things. Now what I'm going to dive into is how can I take that first line chart that I made and how can I make this adaptive in the sense of what if I wanted to see the graph not as a line chart but as a pie graph or as a donut or as a bar chart? How can I do that? Is it hard? Is there a lot of things that need to happen? Surprisingly, switching between some of these charts like this is literally just the matter of changing the name of the chart that you're doing. Some of these are just literally just change the word. Like, oh, I'm doing a line. I want to do a bar. There you go. Done. Moving on. Some charts, because of how they are, right? And they won't have, like a pie graph doesn't have a horizontal or a vertical. You got to change little bits, right? So for the rest of this, I'm going to go over what you got to do. If you want to follow along, go over to my profile and grab QUICKCHART number 1. All I did was make a copy of that, and that's what I'm starting with. So let's get to it. The thing I want to do first, let's go to QUICKCHART.io. If we go to the chart gallery, and let's open up okay, so here is the original chart that I basically made in that first app, right? All right, now let's leave this here. And I'm going to open up a new page. And let's look at one of these bar charts. Like that first one. Nice and easy, right? Okay, now let's compare these two things and see what's different in the code, right? Okay, so if we look at this, we've got like this data, labels, and then like all of that, labels and all of that, data sets, all right? We've got a label, my first data set 1, background color, background. You see where I'm going with this? Data, fill equals false. Okay, that's not present over here on the bar chart. And then that's the end of it. And that's the end of it. So you literally see where I'm going with this. Like the difference for these like upper parts of the chart between a line and a bar is literally no different. Like what was the difference between these things? Well, up here on this one, I've got the word line inside the type. And over on this one, I've got the word bar inside the type. I still need to create this label list, just like I did over here. I still need to create all of this little stuff. I need to create this list of data points, just like I did over there. Got to do it over here. It's literally the same thing. It's just little things are different. Like, okay, this has got the little fill thing. Cool. This has got a border width. This one doesn't. And I bet you I could take this and put it over here on this one. Yeah, see, that doesn't even... Oh, yeah. See it now. Change the line size, right? So, like, if I make this, like, 10. Yeah. So, like, you see where I'm going? Like, a lot of these parameters that you're finding inside the QUICKCHART code, the examples that you're given when you go to these, a lot of the parameters that are not there, that are present in other ones, will still work. They're just not putting them there because overload, right? If they were to show you all of the things, there's like 36 or 40 different things that you can put inside this one data set thing. And that's just for that one thing. And that, like, you've got that level of detail on all of these. Like, it's really, 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 really dense. All right, I wonder what happens if you take this fill equals false and put that over here. Nothing? No change? Should be something different with the, okay, what if true? Nope, no difference. See, like, so you could include some code like that that's present for the other one, but it doesn't work for this one. Like, you don't even have to change that for this one. You can leave it there and it would not affect it. All I'm trying to do is find what's the difference between these things. You know what I mean? All right, so if we move down past all of the data section, right? And let's move into the options. Well, clearly there's some things that are different on these two. So for the line, right, we literally just have what is the title, is it displayed true, and then like the text that I want to show. Versus over here, I've got the same title part, but I also have this plugins part where it's telling the system, right, where do I want to put the data labels? Like, I want to anchor them in the center. I bet you if I change this to left, maybe, nope, didn't do anything. At least nothing that I noticed. Did you notice anything? Right? I don't see any change. How about the align? Maybe this is the one that would do it. Yeah, see? Okay. If you look over here at the numbers, right? They're all offset. Right? So I wonder if I change this to right, what does that do? Nothing. All right, fair enough. But you get where I'm going with this, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of these things are like deceptively simple. Didn't seem to have any change. Whatever. I could change the color. I bet you I could do like a word here. Exactly. 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 You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do the hashtags and all of that. You can just keep it dumb, simple, easy like that. Pfft, done, moving on. Like, and I bet you this is bold. Yep. I'm not even going to try. Yeah. So, anyways, you get where I'm going with this. There's all of these things, and like, all you need to do is come over here and figure out, well, what is it that I really want? Some of these things you might be able to just straight up excise out of all of this code. So like, what if I take all of these out? What happens? What's it do? All right, so we lose the data labels is what I lost. So, all right, fair enough. This plugin thing needs to be here in order for these labels up here to appear. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. All right, now this is the difference between a line chart and a bar chart. Now, if we open up the gallery, put this over here, and if we go and let's look at a different one, like we did bar, we did line. Now let's do, yeah, like a pie chart, right? All right, now if we try and compare this with the bar chart, let's compare it with the line chart. That way we stick with one with one, right? All right, so if we look at this, so there's no labels up here at the top. That's different. For the data sets, right, there's only one. Okay. All right, fair enough. Wonder what happens if you make two. Let's just see what happens when you do two. Oh, that's interesting. It wraps them around each other. And like, what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we just get rid of all of these and come up with our own numbers, like 25. Huh. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and then like these, you can be like black, red. Like you can keep these dumb simple. Yellow. Yeah. Wow, that's kind of neat. Interesting. I've never did two like that. I bet you that'd look pretty cool. Hold up, I'm gonna put that back. I bet you this would look pretty cool as a donut chart. Yeah, it just puts a space in the middle. I kind of like that, you know, and then like you could use some sort of label, you know what I mean? Like you could put in an annotation inside this where you could put some number here in the middle or the name of whatever it is that we're looking at. You know, like this is the site name Hickory Hill. I could put Hickory Hill inside here as like a label. Yeah. Yeah. All right, but you see what I did there? You see what the difference between a pie and a donut was? A word. QUICKCHART's amazing. Like we come back and let's go to the chart gallery again. Go to the chart gallery. And if we come down here, oh, they did a nice little speedometer one now. Oh, with a little line on it. Oh, that's dope. Oh, that's so cool. Is there any other ones? I'm going to do a Gantt chart next week. Are there any other ones on here? Hello, room number 1, 001. Anything else? Now we're just getting into like fancy stuff now. Different line charts, different legends and things. Yeah, I think those will be the ones. Maybe is this one? Yeah, this one's a little crazy, a little different. How about a scatter? That's very different. How about a bubble? Bubble's like a scatter, very different. A radar is very different. Now I'm looking for what are the ones that are really kind of close to this simple thing that we've made. Like this is just another bar chart, yeah. Yeah. All right. So bar. So we've got what are we switching between here? We've got line, bar, pie, and donut. Polar area. Look at the polar area one. This one's not that crazy. Go back to the line. And we look, so, okay. Labels is moved down here, but I bet I could probably put that. If I cut this out of here, and I put it, where does it sit? Above data sets over there? Yeah, look, you can largely just rearrange these things and they're fine. Meaning I don't have to rearrange my code that's building all of this. I can leave it alone. You know, I can repurpose what I did. And like, all right, so I got my labels, I got my data set, and like, I bet you I can move this up here. Yeah, didn't care. Didn't care at all. Yeah. 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 Okay, this is different. The background color, instead of being a single thing, which makes sense, it's now multiple things, which makes sense because we're talking about pie chart here. Okay, but aside from I need to generate a different list for background colors, right? If we come down here to options, we've got title, and it has this extra thing that tells where are we putting the legend. On the bottom. Oh, look at this. Oh. Man, like, okay, like when I see things like that, where it's like, it's so easy to adjust that. It's literally just changing the word. It's like you could build a system into your app that would let the person looking at the chart make that determination. I don't know why you'd want to go that far, but that's kind of cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'd have the ability to be like, oh, I don't like it over there. I want it over here. Or I don't want to see it at all. Or I want it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. This polar chart one, like, yeah, man. Let's compare the polar chart to give me a moment. Let me get another gallery open here. Compare this to the donut, the pie. Yeah. So this has the labels down here, but like we already established, these things can go wherever inside the thing and it still works. Yeah. Like, look at this. The only difference between a donut, which has to have this list of different colors. Yeah, the only difference here is that this has got this legend position thing, and I bet you if I take this and I bring it over here, yeah, exactly, right? Like that was the default, was just with it at the top. So there's literally no difference between the polar area chart and the donut chart. The only difference is the word donut, pie. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so now that we've established like what are the basic types of charts that are really close to each other, and like all I need to do is change the word largely, right? Let's put this in our app. So let's clean up the screen a bit. I'm going to leave these there. Okay, so here we are. I've got my copy of the version 1 app. So the one thing that I do know that I need to do, so here's the line, which I already have. Here's the bar. All right, so when we want to do a donut, a polar area, or a pie, I need to change the background color from a single thing to a list of colors. All right, which means I need to prepare that list of colors ahead of time. Do you know what I mean? Just like when I was making a line chart, if I wanted to show the 2020 monthly sales numbers, right? If I wanted to chart that line for 2020, I had to isolate out 2020's numbers and create that list by itself. So this list that we're talking about is not derived the same way, I guess. Do you know what I mean? What I need to do is like there's some pre-preparation that I need to do before this. So what we're really talking about is I'm creating a donut or a pie chart, right? So I'm going to have some number that represents how big that part of the pie is, right? So that number comes from a child record a monthly sales, if you will. I need on that record, that's the start of preparing the information for these sort of charts. I need to come up with the color that I'm going to use for that number. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm talking about monthly sales and I'm saying I've got 50K for whatever month, right? I need to assign that a color. And I need to record that inside the record, because when I do that, what I will end up with is on the parent level, when I'm looking at like my store and I have a list of all of my monthly sales for 2020, let's say, right? Out of those, just like I extracted the number so that I could make that list of values that allows me to create the line chart, the same exact method, the list dereference, same thing, I have to do that again in a different column to extract out the colors. But that then gives me the list of colors, and then I can feed this into this, and we're good to go. So, what do I need to do in order to implement that? Well, I don't have a column on my monthly sales that holds a color, so I need to add that into the mix. It's the first thing I need to do. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, show me my table, show me my source, and go to the monthly sales and add in here monthly sales color. All right. Come back here and let's regenerate monthly sales. All right, so the thing that I need to do is I need to come up with, first, what are the colors that I'm going to use? Second, where do I want to establish these colors? Like what colors go where? Do you know what I mean? Largely, my mind goes to things like, you know, we could have red as the low numbers and green as the higher numbers, you know, just something of that nature. With maybe, you know, orange, yellow, whatever, moving our way forward from there. So if I just think about the actual data that I'm trying to prepare inside this chart, I know that I have 12 data points, which means there's going to be 12 pieces of the pie, which means I should probably have 12 colors. You know what I mean? So this is where I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna go over here and I'm gonna be like, give me a list of 12 hex color codes. I don't know if you've been messing around with ChatGPT or OpenAI at all, but this thing is amazing what it can come up with. So I've been coming over here and asking it for a lot of questions. It's running awfully slow this morning, but you can see this thing is spitting out a list of colors for me, and you know, like I don't have to do any work. An AI do it for me. Maroon. Olive? Huh. I never would have picked those. Silver, gray, those are pretty close to each other. Anyways, we'll see. All right. Thank you, ChatGPT, for my list of colors. All right, so that's my list. Just going to copy this if I can. Cool. Come in here. So, got my list of colors. All right, what do I want to do now? Well, what I need to do is I need to go through and I need to basically make this list a formula. Like a switch statement is what I'm thinking, where I would base the color off of the value, right? And whole bunch of different ways you could do this, right? A whole bunch of different ways. What's up, Sky Oscar? I'm always trying to pronounce your screen name. What's up, buddy? Yeah, QUICKCHART is amazing. All right, so what am I doing here? So I need to make this like a switch based off of the sales total for the month, right? And then now I need to come up with like 12 numbers where, how do I want to do this? It'd be kind of nice to figure out, like, what's the min, what's the max, and then where does this number sit in relation to that, and then give me like some representation out of 100 of this list. Do you know what I mean? That's a little too much for my brain to process right now. So I'm just gonna do like a rand between. Between, can't type. Oh my god. Rand, so this would be like an index. Rand between 1 and 12. This needs to be a list. All of these. Well, let's work smarter, not harder here. So come in here, find for me every instance of a hashtag and do a quote hash instead. Yep. Cool. And then find for me every instance of a new line and stop it and give me a quote new line. That didn't quite work. That didn't quite work like I was hoping. Pretty close. All right. Now I've got all my hexes inside this nice list. Okay. All right. There's my list. So I'm saying index out of that list somewhere in between 1 through 12, and we will call that good for now. At some point, I'll come in here and actually like make this a good formula where it's figuring out some percentage between there. Okay, so this is going to give me a color for each of these. This is going to have some kind of, you know what I want to do? I just want to systemize these. Instead of making this random, because this could give me duplicates. And I don't want duplicates. I could have like 2 olives next to each other and it wouldn't really work. What I'm really going to do is this month is the word. Yeah, is the word. And so do I have a formula that translates the word to a number? I don't think I do. I have a formula that translates, yeah, the name of the month from the month number, but I don't have it the other way around. Okay, well, we can just do this really quick. So I need a switch statement based on this, where January is 1. Oops, don't need a quote there. Feb. Can't spell February half the time. That's probably wrong. Oh, I have a better idea. Give me a switch statement. Change the word of the month into the number. Yes, this is running really, really slow this morning. They must be having a lot of people messing with this. Usually at night it's a lot faster. Thank you. Now give me a switch statement. I don't know if it knows switch. Like, I'd probably have to tell this thing what switch is in order for it to understand. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, let's see. All right. Oh yeah, see, it's given some weird stuff. I mean, that's kind of what I want. I wish this would come on there. Come on, AI. Let's go faster. Why are you going so slow? Like, you should be done. Let's go. Because this is going to give me all the stuff that I need, and I just need to, like, cut all the crap out of it. I don't feel like typing all of this. Even though by the time this thing gets done, I could have typed it all way faster. Oh, my God. Ain't nobody got time for... Oh, my word. All right. Give me that. It's close enough. Okay. All right. So, switch go grab my column name again. January. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right? And then, you know, if I try and do this smarter, not harder, get rid of this and like cut this out. We go here, we do this, and be like find and replace every instance of return with nothing. Get rid of all the breaks. Get rid of all of that with nothing. Yeah, a lot cleaner already. Get rid of the case stuff with nothing. Thank you very much. Whole lot cleaner now. All right. Get rid of all of the colons and replace them with a comma space. Yep. Get rid of all of the semicolons and give me a comma space line break. Smarter, not harder, right? I could probably just like leave all this white space in here and this formula would work. And like now that I have this, I'm going to save this formula because I never want to have to go through all this crap ever again. And the default is 0, I guess. All right. All right. I'll bring that here, bring that here. Clean this up a smidge and drop an end. All right. We happy? We happy? We happy? We happy? I think we're happy. So, index out of this list, whatever it is based on that. Booyah. Okay. Now, I've got this that's going to populate this column with some hex color code. All right, but right now there's nothing inside any of these records, and I've got almost 500 of them that I need to fill in. All right, well, the way that I'm going to do this then is I'm going to run this formula through automation. So I'm going to cut this out of here and save. This is a nice little trick that I've learned in order to populate stuff like this. All right, so I removed the formula out of the field so I can now modify this column, right? Go to behavior, create an action for the very table that we're talking about, which is the monthly sales. And the thing I want to do is I want to set that column to whatever that formula was. All right, now I don't really need to finish like anything with this action because I'm going to delete this here in a moment. I'm going to go to automation now. I'm going to create a bot. Name doesn't matter. The event name doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I'm going to delete all this stuff. It has to be scheduled, and it has to be for every row in this table. And then you just select the table that you want. This is my monthly sales. And the condition is true because I want it to do it for every record. Okay, the thing I want it to do, name doesn't matter, is this needs to be run a data action, and then this needs to be that new action that I have. Save this so it propagates. Once it comes back, you've now got this run button. Hit the run button. If you come back here and wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. All right. So some of these processed, but some of them didn't. Okay. Let's turn on bypass security filters. Maybe I have a security filter. I don't remember putting a security filter on that. I was just going really slow. Like, why are they all zeros? Okay, because they're all January. All right. Yeah, all right. So it marked all January. Okay, maybe there's a problem with the formula. Because it looks like maybe it only marked January. Yeah, okay. So there's a problem with the formula. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Index list. Oh, yeah, that's why. There's no commas in my formula. You would think the AppSheet editor would have caught that there was a whole slew of missing commas. You thought that, right? Yeah. Let's check and make sure everything's right now. Yeah. And then this is, yeah. All right. Let's try that again. So, go back to my automation, click the run button, come back to my formula. There you go. Now they're all filled with data. All right. Now that I've got everything filled, let's go back and clean this up. So I can delete this automation, go back to my action, take this formula. I need that. Delete this action, go back to my original table and put that formula back inside the app formula space for the column. This makes it to where whenever I submit new records, now they get that data established like they need. Okay, so all of that just to get to a point where I've now got my data inside my system here ready to go. And now I can use these list of color codes, and I can create the list of those, the derivative list. So let's try that now. We come to our parent level, right? And all right, so I'm going to chart both of these separate. I'm going to do a little nested thing because that was kind of cool. So I'm going to start with 2020 sales. So this is the list of the derivatives. This is the data subset that's showing only the 2020 monthly sales. And so out of this column, I need to extract those color codes. So this will be store 2020 colors. Okay, and so I insert the name of my column, and then right next to it, insert the name of the column from that child table that I want. Just like that. No dot. That's the key for this sort of list thing. There's no dot between them. And that gives me a list of text. I can hide that. I don't need to see it. I'm going to do the same thing while I'm here for the 2021 sales prices. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to come into this column, copy this formula so that it's really easy for me to make. Store 2021 colors. Drop that there. Wait for it to validate. Yep. Hide it. This. Save. All right. That gives us all of the data points that we need. All of the data things that we need to prepare ahead of time in order to get our charts to work. We now have everything that we need. What we do now is we need to create some way for the person to designate what kind of chart do they want to see. I would probably do that inside the like a user record, right? But I don't have a user record for this. So the thing I'll do is I'm just going to put this on the store table. It's not really a good place to put that because you wouldn't want to be modifying the store record like individually per what's going on. But let's say that this is an admin thing and it gives the admins the ability to designate what kind of chart they want. We'll say that. So like store chart admin control, something of this nature, right? Okay. Now I've got this control on the store level, so I need to get that column in my store table. And this is going to be the place that I can play with things. So since this is like an admin thing, I don't want people like messing with it willy-nilly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside the form only for its show if. This needs to be an enum, and this is where I can make my different types, right? So what do I want to include? I want a line, I want a bar, I want a pie, I want a donut, and I want a radial, whatever, a polar area. That's it. And polar area. All right. And like, I'm going to clean this up so it looks a little cleaner, which means I wonder, can I do this? Would this work inside that chart? Nope. It has to be a lowercase p. That sucks. Could I lowercase the whole thing? Nope. Has to be camel cased. Can I put a space in there? I'm betting these are all reserved. Yeah, 100%. Could I put an underscore in there? No. Has to be the exact string. Fair enough. Just leave it as it is. I'm going to make these base type text rendering as buttons, which is required, and we'll give the default as the line. That way there's something there originally. And then we can come in here and say, what kind of chart would you like to see the monthly sales as or in? And then you'll see the options, blah, 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 blah. Yep. And then if I make it to where, yep, you can see the chart inside the form, it'll be this cool little thing in the form that's adaptive. All right, so like I'm saying, I'd be able to come inside here and like I'd want to move this above this so it's right next to that. So I can do something like all other things, but put the monthly sales at the very bottom. Yep, just like that. So that when I go into one of these, I've got all that crap, but then I got like this, and I'd be able to be like bam, 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 and it would change as I'm clicking it. All right. That's that. Okay. So the next thing I need to do now that we've got all of the, I broke my, I'm breaking my macro keyboard here. Whew. Get back. Here we go. Are we back? All right, we're back. There we go. Now we're back. The next thing, now what do I need to do? I got all the bits and pieces in place. I got controls in place that allow me to control what type of chart that I want to see. The last thing that we need to do now is create the adaptive code for our chart that's looking at the chart type that we were specifying and then changing whatever needs to happen for the code. Let's do that. So if we come down here to our sales chart, right? So what I need to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to copy the name of this column that is the chart control. And I'm going to come down here to my chart and let's begin. All right, so the values, okay, so first thing that I know that I need to do is I need to go back and change these values because I can't use a capital L. Yeah, they have to be lowercase across the board. So I need to remember that. But I have a column that now holds this piece of data. So I can delete that. I can drop a single quote, drop some lines, turn another single quote back on, come up here, and then we just insert the column in question. Right? So we can just say, do it here like that. All right. So whatever we have there is the type of chart that it needs to be. So we need to make sure that that column is the appropriate type, the appropriate text values. Everything needs to be lowercase. Donut, and then polar area is as it should be. Okay? That solves that part. Now, what do we need to do between all of these, right? So if we look at these, right? The only difference between the bar is that this one has this data plugin thing, right? So let's copy that. Go back to our formula. Go back to our chart formula. Okay, so where do we need to put this? If we go to our barcode, right? It goes, okay, it's the very bottom of the chart section. Of the options section, sorry. So down here in options, after this title, right? We need to put it in here. We need to put it right inside there. So if I just paste this there, okay, that gets me part of what I need. What I want to do now, though, is I want to wrap all of this inside of an ifs statement. IFS. Don't forget, you got to come out of the text. You got to go back into the text there. Okay. So ifs type equals bar, right? If this column equals bar, then put all of this inside here. Otherwise, don't do anything. Just skip this section. Put a comma there. And we should have green, right? Yeah. Happy days. All right, so ifs, we're looking at a bar chart, it will add this plugin into the mix. Okay, I need to change all of these single quotes for double quotes. So replace single tick with double tick. Thank you very much. Come back here. I forgot what I highlighted. All the way up till center. There it is. So, all right, now that'll work better because it's not going to be killing my quotes in and out. Yep. So we got a single tick here, nothing but double ticks in the inside, and a single tick here to close it. That closes the ifs, commas all abound. Cool. All right. Let's see if that works now. Yeah, so this is going to need the word line inside there. Yep, so it works with the line. And if I switch to bar, it works with the bar. But you can see there's clearly some things we need to mess with, right? So if we just save this and we look at this bar chart, yeah, so the numbers can't be where they are in this setting like this, right? They can't be like that. They can't be on this sort of, and they can't be black. They need to adapt, maybe. You know, like right now it'd be nice if they're white, but I mean, eventually they will need to be black. So, to probably come up with a switch statement for that. But like, maybe I can switch this to top. I guess let's come here to the bar. And like, let's say, where's it at? Here we go. Does this go to the top? All right, let's look at the documentation for data labels. Labels. All right, I'm not sure if this is the right one. No. Nope. Nope. This is labels as in this top label. I need data labels. I suppose that's legend, maybe? If anybody in the chat, Oscar, if anybody knows, feel free to chime in as I, here we go, data labels. Here we go. All right, so here's the, okay, anchor end. Okay. Anchor end. Interesting. What are the other words you're supposed to use then? Let's see, positioning data labels. Ooh, these are nice little things. Start, center, and end. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like this. These are nice little graphics they got here. Oh, I like that. Clamping. Oh, you can restrict. Oh, you got this offset thing. Oh, these are some really good images, bro. Like, this is really good. So I have an offset that I could do, so I could, like, yeah, throw it above. Come back to my chart. All right, so it's on the end, and I want to offset by, what is this, a number? 10? Okay, that's not working. Okay, go wrong one, positioning. Where is the align? The offset represents, oh, is it inside the align? I think, yes, maybe. So like maybe the offset goes with the align, like inside it, you think? As like a, did it do anything? No? Make it 100? Make it negative 100? Yeah, it's not doing anything. 5 picks? Maybe? I don't even know what to put in here. We'll just put some gibberish there for now. It represents the distance in pixels to pull the label away from the anchor point. It's not applicable when the align is center. Default value is 4. Be nice if you would show me what this is supposed to look like. Because that clearly doesn't work. So is this like a... No. Yeah, see, not even. Well, I have no idea. I'll have to figure that out later. I'll ask him in the community. Welcome to the world. Nobody has a clue how to do anything. It's not documented very well either. Just kind of like AppSheet. It's documented really well, but missing some key points. You know, if you understand what's going on, most of these documentation things make sense. If you don't understand them, go to ChatGPT and ask it. It'll probably give you your answers. All right, so we've got this that allows me to do this, and this puts it at the end is the word that I'm looking for. Yep. All right. We save this. This will come back. Those should move to the top, and they should be white. There we go. Clearly, there's a whole lot of finagling that needs to be done in order to get this so that it looks nice. I ain't doing that right now. I'm moving on. The other charts that I want to try and turn this into are like a bar chart, right? So if I just come down here, or I'm sorry, for a pie chart. So we just see, yeah, all right. So it does render in some fashion already, just as it is, without changing anything. Polar area is kind of wild looking, isn't it? It's kind of like a business logo to looking type of thing. That's kind of fun. But anyways, this has basically got the basics done. And like you see, like there's nothing wrong one. I don't have to do anything different. Like I added in this little thing for the bar chart, which I could use for all of these other ones more or less. Like I could just leave this there to begin with. Do you know what I mean? And like get rid of all these little extra ticks and all this little extra stuff and like whoosh. Is this gonna give me a green state? Yeah. Like I could just leave that there and that's gonna work everywhere probably. Yep, exactly. And this leaving that position, the plugin part where it's the position of the title or like the data labels, man, yeah, like you could really start adapting these based on all of the things that are going on, right? That's where I'm going to leave it for now. It's obviously really ugly looking, but like it's a start, right? And that's the whole point of this whole series is I just want to give everybody what you need in order to get started so that you can then take this and run with it. Do you see how easy this is to set up? It's relatively straightforward once you know the bits that you need to get, right? And as we've explored and discovered today, the QUICKCHART system code that you use can largely be in almost any order that you want it to be, as long as it's in the right sections, right? You could rearrange all that, which means you don't have to rearrange it when you're doing your adaptive code. You can just leave your formula as it is and just add and remove parts. Add into this some of these aspects where it's like if is not blank, blah, 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 or if this is over something, whatever, or if this equals this, or switch based on that. There you go. Adaptive charts, man. QUICKCHART is amazing. That's all I got for this week for this deep dive section. If you have any questions about how to work the QUICKCHART system, if you have specific charts that you would like me to see that I can run over and integrate into your app, if you want to see extremely complicated things, let me know. I have a couple more videos I'm going to make in this series for the rest of this month. Next week, I'm going to go over how you can create a Gantt chart. The week after that is Friday before Christmas. I'm going to do something fun for that. And then tentatively planned for the final week of December, I'm going to have Ian, the person that made QUICKCHARTs, I'm going to have him come on and we'll do a quick little Q&A, talk about QUICKCHARTs, what you can use it for, what it's great for. Maybe you'll have some tips and tricks for us and some hidden gems. You know what I mean? Check it out. Stick with me. All right. Let's go over. All right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. I hope you're learning a lot from all of these videos on how to integrate the QUICKCHART platform into your app. Tell you what, that really does bring the level of your apps up. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Enjoy the rest of this week. Enjoy your weekend. Get a lot of work done. Relax, chill. It is the holidays. I hope you have great holidays. Enjoy it all. And remember, when you're working on your AppSheet app and you run into a roadblock, say it with me. Keep calm and AppSheet on! See you in the community, everybody.